time now working on your hip rotators, those outer rotators on either side of the hip that give that motion. For some people, especially runners, soccer players, dancers, that area can be very tight. That's what gives you the stability for you to be able to move forward. And we want to make sure we keep all of those spaces open. Hips and pelvis is a big area where energy gets trapped, where tension and tightness gets held, where stress and anxiety can get locked up. So the more that you can keep those spaces open, keep the breath flowing into those spaces, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to let go of that, to get openness for the body, for the breath to move, all of those pieces so that you can sit, stand, walk, run, do all the things that you want to do and do it without any pain. So the hip rotators, of course, also tie into hamstrings, tie into sacrum on the back. So those hip rotators can pull the sacrum out, which means you're having low back pain. A lot of time when people say they're having low back pain, really is not just their back, or it isn't their back. It's that they have a hip that's out, they might have a hamstring that's too tight, they may have a quad muscle. So if we can work into all of those spaces and really keep them nice and juicy and open and all that space flowing, you're going to find that you can walk easier, sit easier, stand easier, get up and down, in and out of your car. All of those things that you do on a daily basis that you ask your body to do, this is going to help you find that ease of motion from there. So we're going to start out with a head to knee pose. Sitting lengthwise, going to extend the right leg, draw the left knee into your chest, let that knee fall open, sole of the foot touching your inner right thigh. So we're going to work with a twist to begin with here before we move forward. And I want you to think about the twist happening in the mid-back at first. So that's that thoracic spine, right where the ribs come in to meet, a little stiff there. Keep your eyes looking at your big toe. If you let the head lead the way, the head's always going to create the rotation and you're not going to get any space really moving in those tighter areas that have less space to move. So we're going to start out looking at the big toe, inhaling, lifting tall, exhaling, rotating towards your extended leg, but keeping your eyes looking at that big toe. So every inhale, lift tall through the spine. Every exhale, let that rotation come from deep in your belly. Good. Now with your next exhale, go ahead and let your head rotate around to look over your shoulder. Coming back to center, drawing your arms up overhead, we're going to lean forward with the upper body. I want you to think about reaching your heart center out towards your toes so you can hold on to your shin, your ankle, your toes. I don't care where you hold on to so long as you're not pulling, and that means this. Drawing that tension and tightness into your upper body. The hands and arms are just there for a little bit of support. So thinking about inhaling, lifting long, exhaling, hinging forward. So once again, it's not about getting your head to your knee or to your shin. It's about reaching your heart center long out towards your toes. As you work a little deeper into the hip flexors, you're going to find that that space opens up and you might get some more room. For some of you, this may be where you are, and that's great. Work right there. And think about inhaling, lifting tall. If you have any room with your exhale, that's where you can hinge a little further forward. So you should be feeling this in your right hamstring. And on the left side, you'll feel it in this outer hip up into your waist, right up in this space here. So depending on how far you're moving forward, those are going to be the spaces that you feel this. And again, always thinking about inhaling, lifting long through the spine. With your exhale, if you have any space to move deeper into the pose, that's where you do it. Always listen to your body. Always pay attention to, if this doesn't feel good, I need to move in a different space. I need to come up. I need to make an adjustment. I need to do whatever it is I need to do so that I can be in this space and not hurt myself. With your next inhale, as you come up, I want you to think about rolling through your spine and take your time, always protecting your low back. Extending the left leg, we're going to draw that right knee in, sole of the foot coming to touch that inner left thigh. And again, starting out with the twist, eyes looking at your big toe. Inhaling, lifting tall, exhaling, rotating towards that extended leg. And once again, eyes continue to look at the big toe, You're working with that rotation from deep in the belly and right in that center space, right between your shoulder blades. With your next exhale, go ahead and let your head rotate around to look over your shoulder. With your inhale, coming back to center, drawing the arms up overhead, thinking about the heart center reaching long. So again, if this is where you are, this is where you work. As you hinge forward, continuing to think about lengthening long through the body. That work happening right here in that rotator, that ball and socket joint for your hip. And remember, as you're moving with your hands, wherever you're holding, no tension. Don't draw it into your shoulders. Keep that space relaxed. Continuing to let the breath flow. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling. If you have any space to move deeper into the pose, that's where you release further forward. Just like there's nothing special about the floor, getting your head or your hands to the floor, there's nothing special about getting your head to your shin or your knee or anything else. It's all about opening up the space that you have available. With your next inhale, slowly rolling up through the spine to come back to center. And exhaling, go ahead and extend that right leg.